The idea of the United States invading Greenland sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly the nightmare scenario that a growing number of politicians are now warning about. As tensions rise, both Republicans and Democrats are stepping up to oppose Donald Trump's threats with an unprecedented bipartisan push to protect Greenland. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Why does this matter to you, the viewer? It's not just about Greenland. It's about the fragile balance of power within NATO, America's relationship with its allies, and the growing global tensions that could reshape everything you thought you knew about security and international diplomacy. But hold on, this isn't just another geopolitical dispute. It's a conflict that could have ripple effects far beyond what we're seeing today. Stick around, because the next few minutes will change everything you thought you knew about this high-stakes drama. Now let's talk about what actually went down. A delegation of U.S. senators from both sides of the aisle just made an unprecedented trip to Greenland. You read that right. Republicans and Democrats standing side by side, sending a strong message to both the people of Greenland and Denmark. Here's the twist. It wasn't just about a friendly visit. They weren't there to shake hands or pose for pictures. They were there to stand up against Donald Trump's threats. They were there to make it clear. If Trump moves forward with any plans to invade Greenland, they'll use every ounce of their power in Congress to stop him. They'll make sure he's impeached, thrown out, and convicted. It's that serious. And this wasn't some small, isolated group of lawmakers. No, we're talking about key players from both parties, like Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski and Democrat Senator Jeanne Shaheen. So why should you care? Because this isn't just a political spat. It's about the future of NATO, the stability of international alliances, and the safety of a region that's vital to global security. And that's where things get even more intense. Here's the first piece of hard evidence. Senator Shaheen, a key figure in this delegation, didn't mince words. She made it crystal clear that even the suggestion of the U.S. taking Greenland by force could shatter the core of NATO. Think about that for a second. It's not just about Greenland or Denmark. It's about undermining decades of trust between the U.S. and its allies. And it's exactly what Putin and China would love to see happen. Notice what's missing here. While Trump makes these threats, a bipartisan group of U.S. senators is publicly warning that this could end the relationship with Greenland and Denmark and significantly damage U.S. national security. So what does this tell us? The deeper this crisis goes, the more it threatens not just one country's sovereignty, but the stability of global alliances built over decades. Now, things are heating up fast. This isn't just a political disagreement anymore. It's a full-blown international crisis in the making. Remember the time when global powers used to debate at the table? Well, that seems like a distant memory. Now, countries like Russia and China are watching closely as America plays a dangerous game with Greenland's sovereignty. And the stakes? Well, they're higher than ever. If the U.S. continues down this path, it risks alienating its allies, fracturing NATO, and pushing Greenland, one of its most important strategic partners, into the hands of its adversaries. Picture this. Instead of working together to counter Russian aggression, NATO could be so divided that it plays straight into Putin's hands. It's a destabilizing trend that's becoming dangerously normalized, and yet we're barely talking about it. Now, here's where the story takes a darker turn. Senator Shaheen didn't just talk about potential risks, she delivered some cold, hard facts. The U.S. has had a standing agreement with Greenland since 1951, one that allows military cooperation and mutual defense. Yet here we are, with Trump's rhetoric threatening to undo decades of trust. The contradiction is glaring. While Greenland has made it clear they're open to military partnerships, Trump's threats are pushing them away. This is where the situation flips. What was once an established, peaceful cooperation now hangs in the balance. The very actions meant to protect U.S. interests are now creating chaos that could lead to a breakdown in relations with one of America's closest allies. It's a game-changing moment that will reshape how the U.S. is seen on the world stage, and it could permanently alter the global order. Things are happening fast now. This isn't just one isolated incident. Multiple forces are converging at once, and it's escalating quicker than anyone expected. You've got European countries, including special forces being sent to Greenland to protect it from a potential U.S. invasion. At the same time, the U.S. is publicly threatening military action over a territory they've had a peaceful agreement with for decades. And that's not all. Now you have Elon Musk's AI company, Grok, involved in military and defense systems, working alongside the Department of Defense. The timeline is accelerating. This isn't just about Greenland anymore. This is a broader game of global power, and right now everyone's scrambling to keep up. What happens if this continues? We could be looking at the unraveling of decades of diplomacy and the rise of a new, unpredictable global order. Now let's shift gears. Think about what this means for ordinary people, people like you and me. The implications aren't just theoretical, they're personal. Imagine waking up every day not knowing if the country you call home is about to be caught in a geopolitical storm that could lead to military conflict. That's the reality for the people of Greenland right now. Their leaders are openly talking about how their citizens fear an invasion, with children lying awake at night wondering if their country will be attacked. But here's the thing. This isn't just about fear. In Greenland, the ripple effects could affect all of us. The more we drift into these reckless, unpredictable foreign policies, the closer we come to seeing real human consequences: displacement, economic collapse, and security risks. If this feels familiar, say so in the comments, because it's not just a distant threat, it's something that could knock on all of our doors. This isn't just about one country making a threat. It's about the systems that allow this kind of chaos to unfold. Think about it. Why is this happening in the first place? The answer lies in leverage, incentives, and the pursuit of power. Politicians, corporations, and even tech moguls like Elon Musk all have their hands in the game, driving agendas that prioritize control and influence over peace and cooperation. What's truly unsettling here is how easily these systems can be manipulated. The U.S. has every incentive to maintain NATO's strength, yet we're witnessing actions that could unravel the very fabric of that alliance. And that's the systemic problem. There's a dangerous lack of accountability at the top levels. Global stability is being traded for short-term political wins, and the rest of us are left trying to pick up the pieces. So what happens next? There are two possible paths forward, and neither one looks simple. On one hand, the U.S. could back off and return to diplomatic dialogue, repairing its relationship with Greenland, Denmark, and NATO. But that would require Trump and his allies to completely shift their stance, a drastic change that doesn't seem likely anytime soon. On the other hand, if the rhetoric and actions continue escalating, we could see a full fracture in the NATO alliance, with countries like Greenland turning to Russia and China for security instead. It's a dangerous trajectory, one that threatens not only international stability, but the security of entire regions. The uncertainty is growing, and right now it feels like the next move is already being quietly planned behind closed doors. The real question is, what will it take for the U.S. to course correct before it's too late? Here's the takeaway. This isn't just a dispute over Greenland. It's a battle for the future of global power dynamics. The stakes are far higher than most realize, and the tension is building faster than anyone expected. This isn't about one leader's reckless words or one country's interests. It's about the fragile alliances that hold our world together. The unsettling truth is that the global order is shifting, and we're all part of that change, whether we realize it or not. So, as the world waits to see how this unfolds, ask yourself, what role will you play when the dominoes start falling? If you want to stay ahead of the curve on this story and so many others, make sure to subscribe. Trust me, this isn't the last time we'll be talking about it.